Okay, let's just paint a picture for a second. You're a new homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
You just closed maybe last week. You're surrounded by boxes.
Mm.
And then the one thing you absolutely need, your furnace in the dead of winter or the AC in a heat wave, it just dies.
Ah, the worst.
That sudden panic, you're bracing for a bill that could be thousands of dollars. How do people even manage that kind of risk? The kind that, your standard homeowner's insurance will not touch.
That moment, that exact scenario is what we're digging into today, and you hit the nail on the head. Homeowners insurance is for the big catastrophe, a fire, tree limb through the roof.
Right.
But the appliances and systems that just give out from normal wear and tear, that's all on you.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we got our hands on the specifics of a modern home service contract. It's the Weichert Home Protection Plan, which is powered by Cinch Home Services.
Okay.
And our mission here is really to unpack how these guarantees work, what the trade-offs are, and to show you, the listener, what this kind of safety net is really all about.
And, right off the bat, a few things really jumped out. First, you have to understand, this is a service contract. It's not a manufacturer's warranty. It's really about budget protection.
Okay, budget protection.
Second, they guarantee any covered work they do for 180 days. And maybe the biggest hook they state pretty clearly, no age restrictions on appliances or systems.
Wow, no age limits. That's a huge deal for an older home.
It is, yeah, as long as they meet the starting conditions.
Okay, let's jump into that. Segment 1. We need to define this thing clearly, but I think, more importantly, let's talk about the financial threat it's supposed to solve.
Well, at its core, it's pretty simple. It's an annual agreement. You pay a flat fee to basically transfer the risk of your stuff breaking down from just repeated use.
And the numbers they provide in their own materials are, they're genuinely sobering. They really show you why a product like this even exists.
Oh, for sure. You're trying to avoid a sudden, massive debt.
Exactly. So what are we talking about numbers-wise?
Look at the average replacement costs they list. If your entire AC system goes, you're looking at an average bill of about $5,600.
Wow.
For a heating system, it's around $4,600. These are not small fixes. This is the kind of thing that wipes out an emergency fund in an instant.
And it's not just the big systems, right? Even appliances can be a major hit.
Right. A new refrigerator, on average, is going to set you back $1,500. A water heater, $1,200. And that's before you even get to repairs.
Let's talk about those, because even repair isn't cheap.
Not at all. A simple AC repair averages around $380. A refrigerator repair, $400. Water heaters can get up to almost $600.
So if you have, 3 or 4 of those little things go wrong in a year?
You're easily looking at $1,500, maybe $2,000 just in service calls and fixes. That's the reality of owning a home.
Okay, so let's be critical for a second. The plan itself costs, say, $650 a year, plus you've got a deductible every time you call. $100, maybe $200.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, am I just prepaying for a repair that might not even happen? What's the real value here, beyond just the math?
That is the right question, and the value proposition is really twofold. First, it is financial stability. You're capping your risk. Your $650 fee plus one $200 deductible, so $850 total, just saved you from a $5,000 shock on that AC.
You avoided a huge bill.
You did. And second, it's convenience. When that AC unit dies on a Sunday, you're not desperately Googling for a technician. You make one call. They send a pre-screened licensed pro. It takes the panic right out of it.
That peace of mind, especially if you're new to town, I can see how that has real value. So now that we know what can break, let's see what they actually promise to fix. Time for segment 2, the deep dive on coverage.
The breadth of coverage is actually pretty impressive, especially because they cover unlimited units.
What do you mean unlimited?
For systems, they protect unlimited air conditioning units and unlimited heating units as long as they're under the same roof. Plus, the big stuff, plumbing and electrical systems.
And then all the major appliances, the things we use every single day.
Right. Your dishwasher, your fridge, washer and dryer, oven, cooktop, built-in microwave. Essentially, the workhorses of your kitchen and your laundry room.
But it goes beyond that, too.
It does. They also include things you might forget about, but that are critical. Your water heater, your sump pump, the garage door opener, even things like plumbing stoppages and ceiling fans.
So the message seems to be, if it's a fixed part of the house and it runs on power or water, it's probably covered.
That's the general idea, yeah.
Okay, but with any contract, the fine print is where it all happens. What's the main requirement to get something covered?
The main thing is that the item has to be in good working order when the contract starts. But, and this is a huge detail for home buyers, they say unknown pre-existing failures are covered.
What does that mean, unknown?
It means an issue that you couldn't have spotted with a simple visual inspection or just by, turning it on and off.
Ah, so like internal rust in a water heater that hasn't started leaking yet.
Exactly. It transfers the risk of those hidden problems onto the plan.
Okay, so something breaks. What do I do? Can I call my trusted plumber that I've used for years?
No, absolutely not. The plan controls the whole process.
Really?
Yep, the brochure is very direct. It warns, in bold, do not call a contractor yourself.
So what's the process?
It's a three-step thing. 1, you request service, 247, and you pay your deductible right then. 2, Cinch assigns a local pre-screened tech to your job. 3, the item gets repaired or replaced. You get the convenience, but you totally give up the choice of who does the work.
That's a major consideration, a huge one. Okay, let's shift gears in segment 3, because this plan is used very differently depending on if you're buying a home or selling one. And the buyer perks are, well, they're interesting.
Yeah, this product is definitely optimized for a real estate deal. For sellers, it's all about risk mitigation.
How so?
You pay a small fee, maybe less than $100, for coverage while your house is on the market. That means if the heat pump breaks a week before closing, you're not suddenly on the hook for $4,000. It just smooths the whole process.
And from the buyer's side, they've built in these first-year incentives to kind of ease that new homeowner anxiety.
They have. We already mentioned the big one, the coverage for unknown pre-existing conditions.
Right, the undetectable stuff.
But then they get really granular, like this emergency lodging reimbursement. It's up to $1,200 a year.
Okay, so if my heat goes out, they put me up in a hotel.
Sort of. The criteria are incredibly specific. It only applies if your only source of heating or cooling is broken for more than 24 hours because of a delay in getting parts.
So it's not because I'm uncomfortable. It's because of a supply chain issue.
Exactly. Or, another example, if a pipe breaks and they can't get someone out to remove the water for 24 hours, they're covering their own logistical delays, not just your inconvenience.
That's a very clever distinction. What other incentives are there?
There's one called the HVAC maintenance benefit. This one is subtle. If you, as the buyer, don't file any claims in your first 9 months, they'll give you up to $100 back for getting your system professionally maintained.
So they're basically rewarding you for not using the service while also encouraging you to do preventative maintenance that lowers their risk in the future.
It's a very smart strategy. Plus, you get little things like a $25 credit for AC or fridge filters. It's all designed to keep you inside their service ecosystem.
Okay, this all makes sense. Let's pivot to the bottom line, the actual cost. Segment 4. Let's break down the plans and the upgrades, because this is where the details really matter.
For a single-family home, the pricing basically forces you to choose between your annual fee and your per-claim deductible.
Give me an example.
Okay, so the base plan, with a $200 deductible every time you make a call, runs about $564 a year.
Right.
Or, for about $100 more so, $664, you can drop that deductible down to $100 per claim.
So you're basically prepaying for one potential service call just in the higher annual fee.
That's one way to look at it, yeah.
Now, I see a buyer-preferred plan here for $643. That's more than the base plan. What makes it preferred?
That plan includes what I think is the most essential part of this whole thing, the Premier Upgrade Package. And it includes it at a $50 discount.
The Premier Upgrade Package. Let's drill down into that. Why is that so crucial? What does it cover that the base plan doesn't?
This is so important. This is where those hidden costs in home repair live. The upgrade covers the things that aren't the appliance itself.
Like what?
Things like required city permits, required code upgrades, which happen all the time, disposal fees for your old AC unit and the refrigerant inside it, and critically, modifications to your existing electrical, plumbing, or ductwork to make the new unit fit.
So you might get the new water heater for free, but then you get hit with a $500 bill for the new pipes and the permit to install it.
Precisely. And this upgrade package is designed to absorb those costs.
Is there a limit on that?
There is. It provides up to $2,000 per year, but it's split into 2 claims of up to $1,000 each.
Still, having a $1,000 cushion for those surprise regulatory costs seems invaluable.
It's the difference between a smooth repair and a very frustrating one.
We also have to mention the list of optional add-on fees. The takeaway for you, the listener, seems to be that if you have anything that's not a standard system, you're going to pay extra.
Oh, absolutely. The base plans assume a typical setup. If you have a well pump, that's an extra $150 a year. A pool and spa combo with a heater, that's $225.
Even a standalone freezer in the garage.
$50 extra. And if you have something like two water heaters, you have to pay another $96 to cover that second redundant unit.
So you really have to do an inventory of your home and calculate the total cost to get the full picture, then weigh that against your personal risk.
Exactly right. You are trading a guaranteed upfront payment plus that deductible to avoid a potential catastrophe. The whole analysis is figuring out your own break-even point.
So let's synthesize this. What does it all really mean? A home protection plan is there to mitigate those huge, sudden financial shocks, the $4,000 or $5,000 system replacements.
Right. And in exchange for that protection, you pay an annual fee and a per-claim deductible. And you shift the whole administrative headache, finding a contractor, vetting them, managing the job onto the service provider.
Thank you for listening. We hope you found this podcast useful, and be sure to catch us next time on the Let Us Take You Home podcast.